victory origin story. And you kind of referred to this a little bit, but I want to kind of hear about, tell us a story when you were like, done. This is too hard, like we're walking away. And then give us the opposite. Tell us like a story when, this is going to be a breakout beer brand. This is like a company we're going to be dedicated to long term.
You got it, Tom. Made me something good.
I'll do the origin story, my passion. I was working for a small brewery called the British Brewing Company back in, I guess, '89. And, it was down in, right outside of Baltimore, and every Friday they would deliver a firkin of basically their Oxford class amber ale to a bar called Bertha's. And these guys were just like, it was a Brit that owned it that was totally into cask ale. And we had made the cask of beer, and of course we don't want to shake it up too much, although we're delivering it for them to tap right away. And I'm walking with another guy, and we're going to walk through the door, and we're like carrying this together, and we're not going to both fit. So I was like, I got it. And he lets it go, and I go walking in. And when I walked in, like the C's part of the people was packed. Walked up to the bar, put it on there. The owner's sitting there with a spigot and a hammer. He goes, hold it. And I hold it. He bangs it in, and he goes, start filling glasses. I'm grabbing glasses that they pre-sold and just filling it with the cask ale. The cask was probably done in about an hour, and I'm looking around and handing out these beers, and I'm going like, yeah, this is what I want to do in my life. It was just such a great moment that I just always say that's ground zero. You want to do one of them, and then I'll do a...
Well, I would like to comment on that. It's a great story for me because you spoke of the culture behind beer.
Yeah.
It's a beverage, right?
Yeah.
But its effects on us and its flavors on us are only part of the story. It's the way it brings people together that is the most exciting and dynamic aspect to it. So that's really a driver for us, Ron and I, getting into the industry as well. That story, I can't beat that one. I'll tell you one of sort of the negative, hitting a speed bump early on. Our concept was, Ron and I had both studied brewing in Germany. And we both worked under a German-trained Dutch brewmaster, oddly enough, in Baltimore, Maryland as well. So our concept was to make European quality beers fresher than they could get to the United States for an audience that would appreciate local production, right? And it was in our first few months of operation. I was driving the delivery truck after getting up in the morning to brew the beer, and we would load the truck in the afternoon for the next morning. And I was finishing up the route. I was at a local sandwich shop in Chester County where you stack the beer in the back and then you go to the cashier for payment. This beer is a COD payment in this state. And the guy in front of me had 2 6-packs of Heineken in front of his hands. And we had a beer called Brandywine Valley Lager, which was equivalent, but made with whole flower European hops. Extremely fresh, 5 miles away. So I tapped him on the shoulder. I couldn't help myself. And I said, sir, that's a great choice you have there, but I just put some fresh beer in that cooler that's similar to it, all German malts, whole flower, European hops, brewed locally. He's like, oh, he's interested. We turn around, we go back to the cooler, he looks at the price, it's the same price as Heineken, so I'm already feeling good, like I'm this close to a sale. And he looks at it, he goes, same price as Heineken? I'm like, yeah. And he says, but it's not imported. And I'm like, oh my God, he appreciates the importation. That's the thing that he's excited about, not the freshness, not the thing that we're hanging our hat on.
Interesting.
That was a kick in the shins.
So, and so what did that result in though?
Well, it resulted in us, great question, when I told Ron about this, we were operating a tap room 5 miles away. We realized that our menus weren't as descriptive as they should be about the attributes of the beer, the malt and the hops that we were using, their origins, and we then asked our staff, how do you feel equipped to talk about our beers to people, to project the qualities of our beers? And they told us that they felt well equipped, but there were things that they didn't know. And it really caused a deeper investment in our frontline folks in order to make sure we were really putting our best foot forward in terms of the marketing of the year.
Tom, you want to go back for your not so good story?
There's a couple. I don't know which ones to.
Why not go?
Only two?
Yeah, only two. That's right. Yeah, in the early days, we were guys that didn't really, have the funding we needed. It was a total shoestring, and we were just trying to, make things work and just buy. We would have to go to different places to buy things for cash, just because we couldn't get glue for the labels and things like that. I was just like, it's little things like that make you think like, should we really be in this business? Should we, we're not able to just do those simple things. And it was kind of, fortuitous that, we just said, yeah, we're just gonna do everything we can to keep things going. And when it was just us that decided that, it didn't matter how much time we put in, it didn't matter, we just kept things going even though we didn't have the money. And, what ended up happening, it's like, we actually went back to our friends and they were willing to help us out with things. It was about a little bit of cash, a little bit of time, helping out at the brewery. And, where we thought we couldn't even buy glue, then the next thing you know, we're, we have everybody, giving us a hand, helping out. There was nothing like, what was the crowdfunding stuff or whatever. There was nothing like that out back then. There was barely the internet. And it was just, friends that stood up and helped us. And that, where, they didn't want us to fail. And I think that's part of it, what drove us to just keep pushing on and things like that. And then the other one would be, a bad business divorce, but I don't want to get into that.
I feel like that's a setup.
Yeah.
Come back to that one.
That's a
It was a chemical.
Yeah.